Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I recently did a flip through of this adorable little book. It's in English, it's called Teddy Bear Therapy, and it's by the incredible Diane Dufour. She's the lady that did the Furballs book, and I adore that book too. So we're going to do a page together today, and I'm going to use my beautiful Starjoy pencils, and I'm not going to do them in the order that how they're laid out. I'm just going to randomly use them. I did do an in-depth swatching and explanation of the order and things of the pencils, but I want to use them just for the pencils as they are. So I've selected a picture for us to do, and it is this little couple here. Aren't they just adorable? Look at them, munching away on the cherries. That would be me. That would be me. So I'm going to bring you in slightly because it is a very tiny, squishy little book. And I'm going to start with two colours for the time being. So we've got a lot of shadow going on there, Lucy. Let's see if we can sort that out. Not better? A little bit. So we've got, I'm going to use the 39B, which is baby blue. And I'm going to start by trying to put a coat down. I don't know how these pencils will respond on this paper. So we are just going to try. I might end up using like an acrylic marker or something if it doesn't. Like these beauties. If you shake them up, they've got a beautiful pale blue here. So if it doesn't work, I might try that. Or if I find that it's too much for my hands. So let's have a go. Let's have a look down here. So I haven't, other than swatching, I haven't used them. Yeah, and I've been dying to colour A, this book, and B, with these pencils. And so far, they are like a dream. They are oil-based, and I cannot describe to you how much like, let me come in even further, how much like wax pencils they feel. It's bizarre. They feel soft and squishy. And yet the lead doesn't wear down. It's quite bizarre, in a good way bizarre. So I am going to gently fill up this entire background in this baby blue. Now we might jazz it up in some other way, but it might be that because we want the focal point to be our teddy bears, that we just leave it in this subtle blue. I do have another colour, which if we need, we'll introduce for sort of edges, and I think we will, edges and shading in between branches and things like that, just to give us a little bit more. I don't know why we would shade the sky, but just thinking about it, I don't know why we would shade the sky, but it'll just add interest. Gosh, they are lovely. They work beautifully on this pencil, on this paper, sorry. Getting carried away and excited. So, thank you to everybody that's gone over to my new channel and subscribed. Opinions, please. It's really hard to get out your name out there. And what are your thoughts on the channel, on the new channel? What would you like to see on there? You know, the point of it was total relaxation without me wittering on. And I've had a few comments that people would like to see the colours that I'm using, because I haven't put those up. It was just literally the sounds of pencil that I was going for, and creating a beautiful picture in the process. I mean, is that working? Do you like that? Let me know, because I can change it up. It's early days. I think there's only 500 and something subscribers, 550 something subscribers. So it's early days. That channel can be changed. And the idea was, I did that so because people had said they couldn't afford memberships, I wanted a channel that was this channel, our Lucy Just Adds Colour channel, takes an awful lot of work with editing and things like that. And I wanted a channel that A, would be easy, but B, was relaxing and calming for people. So just, yeah, if you would let me know your thoughts, that would be greatly appreciated. You know, it's no good me doing just what I want to do. It has to be what you guys want to see. And if there's any way of changing it up to make it more exciting or more accessible to people, yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. That would be really helpful to me, you know, because I'm desperately, desperately, is that the word? No. I'm really enjoying the fact that I can just come on and colour, pick anything I want to colour that I feel like colouring, and just go for it. That was the process of my thought process for doing that channel. So I want it to be relaxing, and it was, yeah, the idea was like, instead of just sitting here and colouring on my own, I was colouring and sharing with you, but without a lot of stress, you know, and editing and things like that. But I'm really open to what you guys want to see. It's no good me sitting there and continuing if people don't want to watch it, and that's fine. I completely get that. I'm the same myself. I know what I like in the colouring videos that I watch, so yeah, I won't be offended if you can leave your opinion in the comments for me. That would be really helpful. So folks, what I'm going to do is go off with baby blue and attempt to cover the entire background. It's going to take some time. You're not going to want to sit and watch me do an entire background in baby blue. So what I'll do is go off and do that, and then we'll meet back up and we'll do the next element together. See you in a second, folks. Okay, so I finished with the baby blue. I did have to sharpen it. I told you that was soft and squishy. So what I'm doing now is adding just a little bit of depth into the corners, and I'm using Frozen just to do that. So just adding a little bit of darker colour, and then what I will do is get it to this point and then just gently fade it out into that baby blue. I just want it to be a little bit more interest. I don't want it to be such flat blue. So we get sort of darker corners. So let's come up and do this one at the top here. Probably be easier for me to film with, so it doesn't, my hands and things don't get in the way. So I'm going to make this darker. So I'm going over here. It's not that much of a darker shade. In fact, I think, if I'm correct, is it a set of 3? It might be. I'm not sure. Maybe not. No. But I just thought how beautifully they would work together, how subtly they will blend to give us that just a little bit of interest on the page, so it's not so flat. I mean, we're not going to have shadow around a tree on the sky, are we? That's what I was trying to say earlier. The tree is not going to shadow the sky, but this is a cartoon picture, and we can do what we like. So I'm just going to deepen up the edges, basically. And sort of bring it out. And bring it out gently. That's what I was going to say, before I lost concentration. That squirrel moment, isn't it? If you know what I mean. There we go. Put a little bit in this bit here. And you could go even darker if you wanted, but I just wanted that sort of subtle difference. I don't even know if you can see that with my light. I mean, maybe my light's a bit too bright. I'm just playing, see if I can get the best true colour for you. And now it's going to play up. It's like it sits on this, just like this little 3-prong thing, and you push the light into it. And if you mess with it, it sort of flickers. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not good for the head. Behave yourself. Yes, so I'm just going to literally just bring it out around the edges and then soften it off into that baby blue. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but my light is misbehaving. It's actually a magnifying glass what I brought for my diamond painting because my eyesight's so poor I couldn't see the colours. I've got a light pad, but my eyesight is really poor, and that little robin one I've completed it now, so I'll have to do a short or something on the channel so you can see them. And I've completed the Alice one as well. So I'll perhaps put them up as a short so you can see those beautiful sparkles. That would be cool, wouldn't it, without having to do a full video on it. Yep, so I'm just layering it up. It might take a bit of time. Excuse me. So I hope you can see the difference with my light misbehaving the way it is. It might be a little bit too close to us. Let me just see if I can shifty it. There, that might be a bit better. There's the lead trailing across my desk. And I might do a little bit in between Teddy's. And round Teddy, you know? Oh, excuse me. I've got one of those really dry, tickly, annoying coughs. I've always got a cough. There's always something going. I think that's working at a school, and then I see my grandson who goes to a different school. So I think we like to share our germs with each other. Yeah, I think that'll be cool if we just sort of highlight our teddies. Oh, are we highlighting? We're not highlighting, are we? Almost outlining. There we go. And you have to sort of behave. You have to sort of just take your time and layer them up. But it is subtle, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want a stark contrast in the two colours. I just wanted that subtle sort of colour difference. There we go. So I am going to bring all the corners in and then blend it softly out. Around the teddy bears, which you've just seen, right in these trees, just bring it sort of out to create sort of a nice sort of rounded frame on it is what I'm going to do. But again, how boring is that if I just make you sit here and watch me straight colour round objects? That's going to be pretty boring. So when I can tear myself away, these pencils are very therapeutic because of that soft feel. I don't know what it is about them. They're very therapeutic to colour with. They almost glide. Almost, so don't quote me here. They're not exactly the same. They almost glide like a gel stick. They feel that smooth on this paper. It's actually, like I say, really quite therapeutic. There's no effort involved whatsoever in using them. They really are very lovely pencils. So, Okay, this is where we've got to. Let me put you in frame. So I've done a little halo around our teddies, which I'll continue to build up that colour gently. It's not a halo either. It's dark around our teddies. So don't listen to me, folks. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to bring it sort of a gentle frame around the outside, and then we'll meet back up and we'll get on with the really exciting parts of the page. See you in a second. Okay, so I've done that, and I did use a little bit of Prisma blender, colourless blender, just to pull out that colour and soften it even more around that edge. There. So I'll carry on and I'll do that before the picture's finished, but I just wanted to carry on with our colouring. There's like spaces that it could just do with smoothing over, and the blender will help you do that. Like it's particularly at the edges of these pages where it's difficult to get into, you know, by the spine. That really helps. Anyway, we're going to focus on the tree branches now. So if I move you over and get the page comfy and we come in a little bit more, let's have a look at this one at the top here. I've got three colours. I have got, in the browns, I've got Good Earth and I've got Tree Bark. And then I'm going to use Warm Grey 3 to darken up the Good Earth, because I want it even darker at the bottom. So I'm going to go in with Good Earth, where I want the dark. So basically 2 browns and 1 grey to do this. And avoid those little cherries. Okay. And I'm going to use the underneath of the branch as our darkest. Let's just get that in there. As our darkest point. And then I'm going to put the grey, this Warm Grey 3, in where I want the really dark points, and that'll darken the brown up without it losing the brown colour, if that makes sense. And the reason I've done this like this is because I've got teddy bears to colour, and I didn't want the tree... they're not going to be as dark as this, but I didn't want the tree colours to blend in with any browns that I might use for the teddy bears. So this was one way I thought of doing it without using all the browns in our arsenal in one go, if that makes sense. So back to Warm Earth now, and I can bring that out, back over that where I've put that grey, and you can see the difference. You get that lovely dark grey colour, which I wanted, or that dark brown colour, which I wanted. And then we're going to go in with Tree Bark for the top section. Now I might need to use Tree Bark again for the teddies, but hopefully there'll be such a difference in the colours that we use that it won't be noticeable. But we'll see. I think they are going to be brown teddies. We've got a lovely array of sort of, in the skin section of the Starjoy pencils. Excuse me, I keep choking to death over here. Gosh, that looks black on screen. I hope it doesn't come out like that. It's definitely not black in the colouring book. What was I going to say? What was I saying, folks? Oh, I don't know. It's going to be one of those memory days that Lucy has where I can't remember anything. I don't know. I've lost it completely. I don't know. And there's no good saying at this stage that it will come back to me, because it probably won't. My memory is absolutely shot. And it just gets worse. I think a lot of it is sort of stress related. Yeah, stress related. If I've got too much on my mind, you know, and it whirs. Anybody that suffers with anxiety, or definitely fibromyalgia, because it makes you tired, and you'll know yourselves when you're tired, you just can't think straight, can you? You know, it kind of zaps any sort of rational thought, and that's what happens to me a lot of the time. I think with my memory, it's not that I'm dizzy. It's well, I am dizzy, but it's a very physical response to tiredness and stress. So, which is why it's just lovely to crack out the colouring books, and the other reason I started the other channel as well. It's lovely just to crack out the colouring books and let any worries, concerns and woes disappear. Okay, so that's that branch done. I really hope that colour, get off. Really hope that colour is picking up, it's not looking black. Okay, so we're going to have to do this big branch down here. So we're going to still going to use the 3 colours. So I'm going to go in to start with Good Earth, and we're going to pick out some of these areas that I want really dark. And we'll just slot those in. And of course we can bring this Good Earth up because that will be a colour in its own right without the grey on it. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to come around here and make that dark. And over that we can go, can't we? Yeah, so it'll be, I'll show you in a second, but it'll be, if we bring it out enough, the Good Earth, that's not going to have the grey over it, so it'll be a colour in its own right. Like that. There we go. Now if we take the grey and we put that where we want the deepest of our colour. Yeah, it looks really dark on my camera. So we can put some of that grain in by following Diane's lines. Like this. Just sort of picking out some of her lines and putting them in. Particularly at the underside of the branch. Like that. And then when you're happy with that you've got enough, I mean you can always go back in, that you've got enough of the dark, go back in with that Good Earth and go over that. And then again follow the lines, because then we'll add that lightest colour in. Let's do that now, which is Tree Bark. That shouldn't be a hard one to remember, should it? Since I'm colouring Tree Bark. And then go over the whole thing. Can you see? Gosh, it just looks pitch black. Apologies for my phone. It is on vibrate, but it doesn't matter where you put it, on a soft surface or wherever. It's still sort of... They're quite loud, aren't they, even on vibrate? Here we go. And then just sort of just fill it in with that lighter colour. And then what we've got is different tones in the... if you can even see that. And get different tones in the wood. I think if you can pick that up... Hang on, let me turn this up. That's up. Let me turn that right down a minute. I don't know what's better. Let's put a little bit more light on. It might have just been too bright. Okay, and then we can go back in with our warm grey 3 and just, again, pick out those areas that you've chosen to be dark. And make sure that they show up. There you go. I can tell you, for people that have got sore hands or pain in their hands, these pencils, I can't explain properly. They almost, like I said earlier, they almost feel a little bit like on this paper anyway, like almost like we're using gel crayons. It's quite a bizarre, in a good way, sensation. If you've got them, do you feel like that? Do they feel like that to you? They just feel really squishy and they glide is the word I think I'm looking for. There we go. Two parts of tree bark. Let's come out a little bit so you can have a look. My apologies if they're coming up really dark. When I do the editing, I'll have a look, and if they are really dark, I'll change the lighting so that you can see. It does look like... Maybe I don't need it on, I don't know. I'll have a look on this clip. I'll go off and have a look on this clip and see if you're seeing everything you need to see properly, the colours you need to see properly. If not, I'll adjust it so that when I come back you can see properly. All right, my lovely friends, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've checked the settings and you can see the colours. It just looks really dark on my little LCD screen. So we are now going to tackle the leaves on the trees. Leaves and then berries before teddies, I think. I'm not sure. I just want to sort of bring the page to life a bit before we do teddy colours. So I've got 3 colours for our leaves, and starting with the darkest, I've got lorry green, grasshopper, and the gorgeous avocado. What a lovely combination they're going to be. So I'm going to have to bring you in quite close here because it's quite a squishy little book. The leaves are quite teeny tiny, so we'll come in a little bit. And I'm going to use our darkest, which is lorry green. And I'm just going to put a little bit around there. This will really test out those blending capabilities of these pencils. So that's going to be our darkest. I want to keep it fresh looking. And so I don't make the page too dark. I think the darkest part of the page I'm hoping is just going to be the bark on the tree. The rest of it I sort of want nice sort of paley colours. Okay, and in with our avocado. There we go. I'll use the avocado to go over the whole thing. Keeps it bright and fresh. And then we'll go back over. The only thing I do notice is, because the cores are thick, they're 3.8mm, I think, the cores. When they're not a sharp tip, they can be quite difficult to get into those tiny spaces. But I think that's probably at the moment my only criticism. They do wear down quite quickly. I didn't think they would, but they do. Okay. One little green leaf. Several million to go. Let's do it again. Okay, so we've got lorry green again. I'm just going to twizzle you round a little bit. And I'm going to go on the underside of the leaf this time. And bring that down. Okay, then I'm going to take a grasshopper. What a cool name for a green, eh? Grasshopper. That's a really cool name. Because it's that lovely bright colour that you think of when you think of grasshoppers. And then avocado to use as our blend and keep a nice highlight on that leaf. There we go. What do you think to that, folks? There we go. So, the other thing is, these cherries are teeny, teeny, tiny. So we will be able to get some colour in them. But what I thought I'd use is my Ahoo-Hoo. I hope you can see that. These are water-based markers. I'm not sure they're selling these ones anymore. What they do sell, I think, which a lovely, lovely subscriber sent me, was these ones. Sorry, face full of Ahoo-Hoo. Dual-tipped marker pens. So, but I'm just going to, before I crack into those, I'm just going to use these up first. Makes sense, doesn't it? Keep wasting things. So, this one they've got names. This one is called Vermilion. R20. So if you've got this set, this is vermilion. You could use any sort of pale orangey red. If you've got, what am I thinking of? Water-based markers or felt tip pens. So what I'm going to do is just really carefully give a base coat on those cherries. I have got pencils to go over them. They're not going to stay this just flat red, so we will work it out. But I used to do a lot of colouring with water-based markers first, like to prime as a base coat then. And then go over with pencils. But you go in swings and roundabouts, I think, with your colouring, don't you? It's good to sort of rotate your supplies and use different things. But yeah, they really help. You know, if you can't use alcohol markers, you can use these as a base. I don't like using them for big spaces because they are streaky. They do streak, but for just a little tiny bit of colour on these, just to help us out. Can you see it? I don't think you can even see that one. Yeah, they're great. So just for small areas or, you know, different colours, they work out really well. Okay, enough of that, Lucy. They don't want to see you colouring with a water-based marker forever. Okay, so let's come out enough for you to see the whole page. I know it's only just a short clip, but so I'm going to go off, do all the leaves and colour the cherries in the vermilion water-based marker, and then we'll meet back up. All right, my lovely friends, see you in a sec. Okay, so I completed all the leaves and all the branches I'd missed for all of you eagle-eyed people, because I haven't seen them. I'm just going to move my light back to where it was. I've propped it up on top of my pencil case. Now I'm going to have a cable running in front of me. Hang on a minute. Right, we're going to do teddies. So we're going to have two different coloured teddies. We're going to have a more reddy one on the big teddy, and then a more sort of beigey brown one here. So I'm going to sort of implement most of the browns we've got in the set, actually. So I have got a crossover of one pencil, which is the beautiful beige. That's the wrong one. Okay, so from darkest to lightest, I've got burnt sienna, I've got sienna brown light, and then I've got beige. So beige will be our lightest. So if I bring you in so we can focus on our teddies, there we go. And so I'm going to make a cable. You can't see it, thankfully. I'm going to make his little muzzle. I'm going to put beige in here. I'm going to have to move that cable. Sorry, folks. I'll have to put the lamp back there. Oops. Now I've smashed in the face and I've clicked my mouse. Oh, what a disaster. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit of light beige around his belly too. Is it beige? Yes, it is beige. So the beige around a little bit around his belly, just so I keep that soft. Okay, where else? Well, we'll add that in as we go later. So now we're going to go in, I'm going to go in with my dark pencil, and which is burnt sienna, which is our darkest. Now, a couple of these tones look quite similar when they're on paper, but when you go back over, like we quite often do, we revisit our colours, don't we, and go back over them. You will see that dark come out. And this one, sorry, is sienna brown. And then our mid-tone is sienna brown light. I'm going to put a little bit of that in. This is my favourite teddy, and if I thought I could have got away with it, I probably would have done both teddies the same. But I think they'll look cute with a difference. So we've got one ear. I think that might be a cherry back there that he's holding, but it's going to be a cherry now. I don't know what else it would be. because this teddy's hands are both here and his is round the back, so it's a cherry now. Makes sense. Okay, so let's do that again. So we're going with our dark around the base of his ear, around that little ear hole. And we'll sort of bring it out a bit, like that. And then our next colour. They're on the screen in order from darkest to lightest, so you will be able to follow along with without me having to keep trying to read them. There we go. We'll leave a little tip and we'll just put a little bit of that beige in. And then we can revisit it and darken up those places that we need. There we go. You can really see that dark then. There we go. And then round here, just from dark to light again. There we go. Give him a bit of a brush off. Now here comes the scary part. So I'm going to go from dark to light. I'm just going to twizzle you around a bit so he's comfortable to colour. And I'm going to go with our dark around his little scrunched up eyes because he's just enjoying those cherries way too much. There we go. And we're going to come round his muzzle, round this side with the darker. We will sort the muzzle out. It's not just going to stay like that, but so we'll get that in, get that dark in. And we'll come round here, round his little eyes. He looks a bit like a raccoon at the moment, but he won't. We'll blend it all through. He looks really cute. I've tested it. I photocopied it and tested because I was really unsure about where to put the colours. And I didn't want to, A, come on camera and look like a fool, but B, to fluff it up because I just love these books and I have only got the one copy. So if I fluff up, it's tough. So we're going to come around here with the dark as well. Okay. Now we're going to go in with our mid-tone, which is, just in case you were worried, is the sienna brown. So our next one up down the list. Should I say down the list? Yeah, I think so. Okay, we will have to go back over this. But it's just good to sort of map out these colours where we want them before we add any more. So I'm going to kind of get lighter as we go to the top of his crown. There we go. So then we next go in with just the sienna brown light. And we'll put that in. I'll leave a little space for that beige at the top. And in here too. Beige there. And all of a sudden he will start to come together. I know he looks a bit scruffy at the moment, but we'll tidy Teddy up. So I'm going to go over with that beige. It's a beautiful tone to blend with. And then we can take a step back and think, okay, where do I need to redo? So I'm going to go back in with my dark. Bring out that muzzle. And obviously that muzzle is going to stand out a little bit more than it should at the moment because it's not coloured in. It's just got the beige on it. I'm probably going to go over dark around this side. A bit more. There we go. And then in with sienna brown. So every time you see me changing colours, I will be moving down that list that's on the screen. There we go. And then sienna brown light. And then let's do a bit of blending and filling that tooth of that paper with the beige. There we go. Isn't he going to be just the cutest? Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go in at the moment with the sienna brown light on his muzzle. And we're going to come around here. I don't want this too dark. I want this to be definitely different to his face. So, to his body, sorry. So we'll come in here. Turn it round so I just get a bit of a sharper point. And then we'll go in with that the beige on the top. Okay. Okay, I've got some pinks here. I've got 3. And again, from darkest to lightest, I've got, hang on a minute, I don't know which one's darker. That one or that one? Yeah. So I've got pink cotton candy, then I've got vanity pink, and then I've got baby kisses. Baby kisses is going to be the closest I'm going to get to a white if I need it. So on his little nose, I'm going to make that the darker edge over there. So that's got a cotton candy. Then we're going in with a vanity pink. And then just for a final touch, we're going to put a little bit of baby kisses in. There we go. We will add some highlights. And we can put that in his ears now. So from our darkest in. Then our mid-tone. And then our baby kisses. Isn't that a cute name? There we go, baby kisses. Right, we just have his body to work on now. But yeah, I really like the colours that came out. I'm just going to put a little bit more of that second darkest colour in. Up there. There we go. He's so cute, isn't he? Right. Now, I'm going to start to look at where I want the darks. So I want some dark in the joint of his arm. And we're going to have some shadow round here. Around his leg. And I might come even in with a little darker colour when we've filled him in. Okay, we're going to need some round behind that teddy's leg. A little bit there where he's sitting on the branch. Round here maybe. Oh, the joint of his arm. Because that's going to be behind him. So we'll make that quite dark in there. A little bit on his paw up there. And we're going to definitely want some round his neck. I'm not going to go too crazy, but let's just bring a little bit of that out. Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely under this arm, around his butt. Can you see? Yeah, if I get my hand out the way you can. Around his little paw. There, like that. So I'm going to make his little bum dark and under his arm. Again, a little bit in there. Then we're going to want a little bit around his arm. Got a little bit lighter here, pressing a little bit lighter because I don't want to overdo it there. I don't want it to sort of all merge into one. Okay, let's add the second colour down, which is the sienna brown. So I'm going to fill in Teddy's arm because he's meant to be dark round there. A little bit more on Teddy's paw. Okay, let's do around his bum. And onto his little, his leg. There we go. Round his arm. I hope this is easy enough to follow. It's kind of the process that I would do if it's just sat here on my own. This is how I would pick out where I want the darks and lights. So if you don't go too dark to start with, we can correct it if we don't like it. So we're going to put a bit more of that second one down in, a bit more in there. Okay, right, let's try Sienna Brown Light now. So we can backtrack over what we've already done and bring this up. And I want a little bit left highlights for that beige. And like I said, if we don't like it, we can change it. It doesn't matter. If we've coloured lightly enough, we can erase it. We can add highlights. We can do whatever we want. Can always correct it. I'm sure you've seen, if you've watched my videos, you've seen me a million times doing corrections on videos. I don't believe in correcting everything off camera and making it look like I'm perfect, because nobody is. I believe that we're all learning to colour, and the best way to learn to colour is to see that people make mistakes, and it's okay. It's no good feeling rubbish about your colouring. You know, that's how we learn. So I'm going in with that beige. I know it looks pretty much all the same tone at the moment. Okay, so let's go back in and deepen up. I'm quite happy where I've got my dark areas. So let's go in and bring them out now. Let's really put that colour in now. We're happy. And then we've got the whole process to do with Baby Teddy. Okay, right, so it's beginning to come. They are good layering pencils. You do get a good colour payoff sort of straight away, but they do layer up really nicely. And once you start to get layers down, you can sort of feel that oil in them. You know, if you've worked a lot with different pencils, you'll know the difference, how they feel, you know, with oil between, what am I saying? Between oil and wax pencils, you do get, you can feel the build-up of oil. Do you know what I mean? You get like I don't know how to explain it. A little bit more in there. Okay, next tone down, which is Sienna Brown. He's beginning to come, isn't he? Just a little bit of patience. And he begins to come to life, look. And confidence as well. It's like, oh, where do I put the colour? But once you get going... Here we go. Need to darken up there a little bit. Okay, and then Sienna Brown Light. Let's get that in. And then we can just leave those beige highlights. Isn't he cute? I really liked the colour combo on this one. Okay, and then our beige highlights. A little bit round there, around his arm. And on his tummy. Now, I am going to use this colour on our other teddy, but I do think I need a little bit darker in some areas. So, this is tree bark. So, I'm going to put a little bit of tree bark in. Just in some areas that really indicate that really darkness. Not too much. Might have a little bit up here. There. So just so we get a little bit of difference. Okay, teddy number 1 done. Oh no, I've missed this little handout. Okay, where do we get to? I've done 2 colours on there. Let's do the 3rd. And then our beige. And then go back in with our dark colour. There we go. Cute, huh? Very cute. All right, so for the next combo, I've got less colours here. I'm going to use the beige again, but I have got in order from dark to light. Let me just check. Where's beige? Yeah. So I have got tree bark, tawny, beige, and the beautiful palomino. So let's go in like we did before. So I'm going to put palomino this time on his muzzle, because he's got a different tone to him, this teddy. And we're going to give him this palomino tummy, just so we can leave that. Remember to give him a little bit of a paler tummy. Look how full and podgy he is. Right, now let's go and start with our darks. So tree bark being our darkest, it will be on screen from darkest to lightest. I'm going to do the same around this ear, same as we did, same process on the other teddy. Then we've got tawny. This one's a little, look. That was a hand spasm, sorry. And then we've got beige. Okay. And then we've got palomino, was our palest colour on this teddy. Okay, we can go back in with our dark one. Keep that up. Okay, so round this ear, tawny. Then beige. And then palomino. Okay, so let's go in and get these darks done. So I'm going in with our tree bark, and we are going to go around his little podgy cheeks, around his muzzle. We'll bring that up a little bit. Around this cheek. That's going to be darker in there, so I'm just going to fill that in. Around his muzzle. And then we can kind of bring it out a little bit. I don't know, this teddy seems easier to colour. Now, whether it's because I've already done the first one, I don't know. But when I practiced, this one just seemed easier to colour for some reason. So I'm going to bring that dark round. Okay, let's go in with our second colour, tawny. Bring that round there this time. Okay, round his ear. Then we're going to go in with beige. On beige there. Don't leave his little cheek out. And then we'll smush and blend with the palomino. Right, I need to do a little bit more work there. So I'm going to take tawny. Right, we'll just go back over that. Okay. That's tree bark that I'm using now. I'm just really softly bringing that out because that blend was too, liney. We can go back in and darken him up now. There. Cute, isn't he cute? We're going to use the same pinks as we did on the other teddy. And that is, was it Vanity Pink? Yeah. So we're going to take Vanity Pink and a little bit of Cotton Candy. Hope I've got that right the way. Don't know if I've got that round the right way, you know, folks. No. No, of course. Let me erase that. They erase nicely. Okay. Right, let's try again, Lucy. It is Pink Cotton Candy is our darkest, so I'm going to put that in. I wonder why it didn't show up when I put the second colour in. Then we're going to have the Vanity Pink. That's better. And then we're going to have the Baby Kisses. And we're going to do the same on the nose and the little tongue. So get it right this time, Lucy. Pink Cotton Candy. A little bit on his tongue. And round his nose. Vanity Pink. Have I got it right? Yeah. Gosh. Vanity Pink. Might just put that all in his nose. And then a little tiny bit of Baby Kisses on his tongue. There we go. Cute. Okay. Then we've just got to worry about the teddy bear placement of colours now. So we've done his little beige tummy. Let's go in with where we want the darks. So around here is going to be quite dark. Like that. We need to define his paw. There we go. Bring that out. And a little bit up there. Then around here. So I'm just picking out places that would be behind things. So they might be darker, like under his chin. And we haven't done his little muzzle, have we? Okay. So I'm going to take Tawny, the second brown, and just put some in his muzzle. And then go back in with the Palomino, just to blend that through. There we go. All right, back to our darks. So we're going to want dark maybe around here. Perhaps around there a bit. And back of his foot. We can bring out that paw there. That way it won't get lost in the tree. Behind here. Down there, round that paw. There we go. Leave that for a minute. Got a little bit coming down here. Okay, right, remember your rule, Lucy. You can go back in and darken it up. All right, now we're going in with Tawny. So two different, very different teddy bear colours, but it seems to work, I think. So we're going to follow round where I put in that dark with our Tawny. And like I say, we'll go back in and revisit these colours. Okay. Then we've got beige. And if we go over that tawny, it sort of takes out that orange tone a little bit more, tones it down, makes it a little bit more browny, beigey. There we go. Got a little bit of highlighting. Then in with our palomino. Again, back over the whole thing. And then we can sort of take a step back and look, right, that needs tidying up around here. We can see where we want it even darker. That around his paw. Then go back in with our next colour. And it just kind of builds up. Then beige, isn't it? Yeah. Beige. And palomino. Okay. Brush them off. Which teddy do you like best? Which colours? Okay, so let's go in with our tawny on this bit now. And you just take it section by section as well, and that helps. So, because I get heavy-handed with things, and I tended to overdo the colour and not leave enough space for the lighter colour. Okay. So I'm just lessening off the pressure now. Here. Let's go round this paw. We need to bring that out a little bit further, I think. Okay, let's go in with beige. Remember that lovely tummy space we've left for the palomino colour. That beige will blend lovely into it. Okay. Need a little bit highlight spaces. And let's go in with our palomino. Oh, he's so cute. Look at that little tummy. You could add a pale pink to that if you wanted, but I just like the sort of traditional teddy colours. Cute. All right, let's darken it now. Oh, see, my phone again. I do apologise. Doesn't matter wherever I put it. Right, I'm just going to darken them up in a few areas. Tidy it up a bit. Okay. Force those blends a bit more, a bit better. Oh my goodness. There we go. All right. I will do any sort of additional blending off camera. I think you've sat for long enough watching teddy bears being coloured. There we go. Right. Now I've got 3 colours for our cherries. Now whether we'll get round all those, I don't think we will because they're so tiny. But we can add a little bit of colour and variety into them. So from dark to light, I've got wine red. I've got garnet. and I've got Georgia Peach. So these ones are the biggest ones we've got. Get off. Right, so I'm going to bring you in slightly. Here we go. So just a rough colouring with the red. I'll wait for the camera to stop swinging about. And then if we just take one side of it, I'm going with the garnet. Then, no, sorry, wine red, and then the garnet. And then the Georgia Peach, which is a lovely bright red. Okay. Colours over that water-based marker incredibly well. We'll do the same this side. And I'll show you the basket because I'm not going to sit and try and colour those individual teeny tiny cherries. That's for sure. Okay, so that's those three colours, and I think you'll agree they work really well. Let me just put a little bit more of that Georgia Peach around there. Okay. Then I'm going to, just because I can, going to add to each of them tiny dots of Posca. Now, I know cherries wouldn't have highlights like that. But this is a cartoon picture and I can do what I like. Okay, here's my cherry basket. We've got to come back and revisit that. I am not going to sit and colour individual cherries that are tiny like that. So what I am going to do is go in with our darkest colour and I'm going to put some randomness in. Can you see that? And then garnet. I'm just going to kind of follow that dark. And then leave a space for that Georgia Peach. There we go. And then we can add highlights to that. Alright, that makes sense. I hope so, because there is an awful lot of cherries and there is an awful lot of them that are very tiny. So what I'm going to do is go off and colour all the cherries, and then I've got to work out a colour for this basket because I don't want it to be the same as the tree and I don't want it to be the same as the teddies. So that's going to be interesting. Alright, my lovely friends, give me 2 seconds and I'll be back with all the cherries coloured. See you in a second. Right, so I know I said I wasn't going to do all the cherries with pencil, but I did, and gave them all a little highlight. So the last thing we've got to look at together is the little basket. And I've got a handful of pencils here. Let me order them for you. So we've got Sienna Brown is the darkest. Then we've got Tawny. Then we've got Yellow Ochre. Golden Butterscotch, which is gorgeous. Then we've got Apricot, and we've got Not Quite White. So we're going to come in, let's have a look. I wanted it to be different to the teddies. So we're going to go in with the Not Quite White, and we're going to make sure that we've got that nice highlight in the centre of our basket, like that. So we keep that not quite white. Going to do the same on these little tiny bits here. Be careful not to drag that brown into it. You can see where there's not much. Excuse me, just run up the stairs so I'm all out of breath. Let me just get a drink. That's better, excuse me. Right, now we're going to go in with our darks. Yeah, so I'm saying there's not so much shading, so you'll know where the light bits go. So we're going to take the Sienna Brown and we're going to use that for just on the edges, just a little bit. Like we've done for all the rest, we can come back in and add more if we need to. Let's just get this side done. There we go. So there's that one. And then we're going in with Tawny. And pull that colour out. So at the moment, he's going to look a little bit like our first teddy. our second teddy, isn't he? Okay, this is when we should start to see it change up. Now we've got yellow ochre. Oh, if I don't throw it on my page. Sorry, annoying tickly coughing fit. So a bit of yellow ochre. Bring that out. Okay, then we've got golden butterscotch. Just put that in over that yellow ochre. Bring that out a bit. Yeah, and then we've got apricot. Gorgeous. So we get more of a wicker look than, you know, like you get those wicker baskets. That's what I've gone for anyway. Well, I've tried to avoid it being the same as the teddy bears, but we are limited in browns. So, so going in with our darkest. Goodness, something's really got to my chest. Okay. Let's get that in there. Next colour. Here we go. Next colour. I know it's quite a lot of colours, but I wanted to, like I say, to get them to be different to teddies. I didn't want them the same as the teddy bears, if I could help it. Okay, bit of butterscotch. So we can come right out with those colours to the lines that Diane's given us. Before we then add the apricot. We'll bring that apricot into that not quite white. Like that. There we go. Then all we've got to do now is, I'm going to go back over that with a not quite white, just help that blend through a bit better. Make sure we've filled up all the white of the paper. There we go. And then all we've got to do now is do the little straps. So I'm just going to sharpen my darkest one. There we go. So we're taking tawny. We're going to put that in. So this is the handle. We're not going to get, probably not going to get all those colours in. So what I might do is sort of skip some of the mid-tone ones and go straight for other ones. Right, so let's skip and go in with the yellow ochre. I think we can be forgiven if this is a little bit lighter than the basket itself. Okay, and then we'll skip and go to the apricot. I think that will make sense. And then we'll go to the not quite white and push those together. We could, where's our darkest tawny? We could come around this edge just a little bit more. Around here. Just deepen that up slightly more. Okay. What do you think, folks? Let's give that a brush off. A bit more apricot now, I think. Right. Oh gosh, I hope you could see all that. Let's come out. There we are. Our first page complete in Teddy Bear Therapy by the most talented lady, Diane Dufour. I have really thoroughly enjoyed it, and working with the Star Joy pencils. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me on this little journey of teddy bear loveliness. I'm not going to add anything else to it. I'm just going to leave it as is. I think the page is just cuteness as it is. So I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you do replicate this page and you have a go, if you've got the Star Joys or you've got different pencils, please let me know either on Facebook or Instagram, or send me a message via Gmail. I'd love to see. I really enjoy it when someone's like recreated an image that I've done. So anyway, one very simple, cute little teddy bear page. I hope you've enjoyed it. So until we meet again in the very near future, my lovely friends, take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. Night, night.